What's up, everybody? Welcome to Pillow Talk with Paul Goneau, Episode 2. This podcast is brought to you by Neon Light District. If you have a bakery, maybe you need a cupcake sign for it, or you collect shoes, they have really dope shoe design signs, or maybe you just, want a stop sign for no reason at all. Whatever the case, go to Neon Light District for all your neon sign needs, and use Pillow Talk to save 10%. Now, my guest today is a wrestler, he's a DJ, and he's someone that I personally find inspirational. He is Mike Ashman.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
What's going on, King?
Good to have you, brother. Good to have you.
Congratulations on Pillow Talk.
Oh, I appreciate that, man.
Series and starting it. Everybody that's a creator, and I'm a creator myself, everybody knows that process. And the hardest part is just the consistency, you know what I mean? So, congratulations.
Yeah, just getting it started, man. It was hard, and it was even hard watching the first episode. I saw a lot of things that I needed to just improve on, and a lot of it just looking off in weird directions and not really knowing what I don't know. It's a process, and I'm glad to be on the beginning stages of the podcast journey.
Respect. Yeah, man. Appreciate you for having me. Pillow Talk. Let's get it,
bro. I had to have you because I am a big fan of people who chase their dreams, or just anybody who sets a goal and fucking achieves that. I'm a big fan of that shit, and I'm even bigger fan of underdogs. And we've known each other for a bit, and I don't know too much about you, but that's kind of why you're here too. Yeah. And when I say underdog, because I don't know your story, I mean physically. Even just before we started, we were talking about your weight, and you're a little short, and you've always kind of been a muscular dude, right? Yeah. What along the line, when did you decide to, take up wrestling or follow that dream?
So I've always had that itch to just try, you know what I mean? I don't want to go through. I've always been a believer in growing up with my family and all that. My father and my mother, they instill in you to just try it, just live your dreams at least, just give anything you dream of, any hobbies, make it a reality any way you possibly can. And if you find a way to monetize it, that's the plus, that's the addition. Yeah, man. So I never wanted to go through life having regrets on certain things. And that's one of the main things from a kid, from my nonna, my nannies, my mom watching wrestling, my pops too watching wrestling from when I was younger. Yeah. The early 90s, in the transition from, the WWF era to the Attitude era into Ruthless into this current era that we're in today, you know what I mean? Yeah. I've followed that whole transition. It's always been something that I wanted to do. So, yeah, I just had to just dive in it, and there's been different training promotions throughout our city. GTA, we're very, very, very grateful and thankful for that.
Oh, for sure.
We are the wrestling capital of the world, basically, low key. So
North America for sure.
Yeah. So we have made our stamp in the industry for sure, Canada wide. So it's especially here in the GTA, all the talent that came out of here, all the legends that came out of here. We have had different territories and promotions and training facilities that we can go to, but there is different areas where that wasn't there, and it wasn't possible. It wasn't accessible.
Yeah.
We had Squared Circle at one point in time. Rob Fiego was running that, and Legends came out of that. And then there's a point in time where that's gone, and there was just Silent Game in Canadian Pro. So it's the moment Battle Arts and some of these other little promotions start to have their own in-house training facilities like Super Kick, Smash Wrestling, and various other independents in Toronto and the GTA start to have those open seminars, I had to try it, and that's when I just dived in it and just went full force.
Yeah, and you've wrestled one match so far.
One full match, yeah.
One full match.
Well, my one full singles match, I did 2 battle royales.
Okay,
So,
okay, I got you. So one was like a one-on-one and one was like a over-the-top type
All
right.
Vibe.
Yeah, I wish I could have stayed. That was the like last time I saw you and you were performing that night. I was with a bunch of people.
Yeah, and it was just the energy.
It was
man.
just but I would have loved to. I'm not gonna miss another fucking show, man.
Yeah.
So what? Your dad got you into wrestling? Who'd you say got you into wrestling?
It was like my grandmother, my nana. My mom. So like back in the day, like we had lived in an apartment, so like we'd watch WWF would come on. Back when it was like WWF, WCW, ECW would come on. So in between her watching the games and all that stuff, wrestling would come on. We'd be watching it, and that's just how it would be going. Eventually, my mom fell out of it. My grandmother, if it comes on, she'll still be watching it.
Yeah.
My dad kind of, like, if the girls are doing their thing, he'll stick around and be watching it to see what they're doing. But other than that, it was just me that stuck that love. My sister, she wasn't really into that stuff. But, like, she'd check it out. She used to test on me every now and then to get the little spots in when we were younger. Along with a lot of the people that lived in the complex and in the apartment, and like some of the friends that lived in that area before I moved over into Mississauga.
Man, I remember wrestling was just so big. How old are you, brother?
I'm 30 now.
30 now. All right, so we're not that far apart. And I remember being in like middle school, and this is like, internet existed. But, like, we had, like, one computer lab. People didn't have fucking internet at home, and they couldn't Google and YouTube, shit like that. So it's like, things would happen on the pay-per-views, and then, like, mans wouldn't sleep the night leading into school because you'd be like, oh, shit, fucking this happened. And you go to school, and everyone would fucking talk about it.
If it wasn't Dragon Ball Z, it was going to be pro wrestling. That's what it was back then. So it's like... Yeah, I always had that bug, and as my friends dropped out of love with it, a couple others still liked it, but like it was far in between, but it was still something that still would draw me into it.
Well, man, like, if I'm being real, like, my love, I've been going to the Destiny shows pretty much since they started.
Yeah.
So, like, a good few years, like, maybe, like, 4 or 5 years, something around that. I don't know how old they are, but pretty much they did maybe, like, 3 or 4 shows, and then I started going, and I haven't really missed a show since.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. It's, like, the moment Destiny, Smash, all these into HWE, the list goes on, Super Kicked, like...
They're crazy.
Goes on.
You go a little south, like just the border of like the states. It's just Alpha from there up to here.
Like, from Hamilton right back into the core of Toronto,
Ottawa, killing it, man.
Barrie Wrestling. You got that going on. Like there's so much different territories happening throughout the GTA, and like especially now with how the transition in the industry has changed. It's like it's an open gateway of just talent that are waiting and willing to explode internationally. But due to the pandemic,
and there's a lot of good talent, man. But like I started watching wrestling when I was like watching Barney and shit, like really young age, like Ultimate Warrior, Hogan, Earthquake, Repo Man, like those dudes, Bushwhackers and shit. And I kind of like I think the peak time for wrestling for me so far, and it's getting good right now. Yeah. But so far was the Attitude Era, and probably shortly after that, I stopped paying attention. Like WWE took over the market, and they didn't have competition, so the product was getting stale. A lot of their wrestlers just looked the same. Yeah. They didn't have, a big list of moves. You had obviously there was dudes sprinkled in like Randy Orton and shit. Like you had dudes
watered down.
But it's like there was nothing fresh. They didn't have character. Like I'm a big fan of like characters and like I think that acting in wrestling is just important as the athletic ability, because if not, then you have fucking Ronda Rousey. It's like she has all the athletic ability in the world, but she's fucking boring to watch when she did the wrestling thing, man.
Because I feel she wasn't being given the tools to just be herself, and that goes again when you look at different territories, and especially now that you have AEW, Impact, ROH, MLW, the list goes on. You know what I mean? The list goes on. NWA, like the list goes on to different promotions that are like top independent, doing their own thing, doing their alternative thing, and embracing that independent lineage and creating a whole territory. You see the difference between the talent in those promotions that have the freedom to execute who their character truly is on camera versus the people that are giving a script on WWE. And Ronda Rousey, if you look at the difference between Ronda Rousey's personality in UFC compared to WWE, there's a weird difference.
Yeah.
There's a mish of personalities there where you see like she's kind of like force feeding to hit these lines, force feeding to hit these bullet points that she's given prior to walking out.
And was never like really good on the mic to begin with.
Well, like she had that fire at the end of the day. After her fights, you can tell she still had that fire.
I loved her in UFC,
exactly.
bro.
And when she had that fire and she was talking her shit after her fights or building into fights, that's what sold her. That's what made everybody fall in love with Ronda Rousey. Then when she came to WWE, it's like she's a secondhand, tribute to Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
Even though Roddy Piper's daughter's doing her thing, she basically takes the rug away from Roddy Piper's daughter to display that to a brand audience when she's ready after her training's, complete and she has the confidence to display her art.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't feel like Ronda Rousey really got the fair shake when she's out there.
Right.
She got thrown out so quick. The pressure's on. She got a rocket ship put on her back, and it's basically sink or swim. And she kind of sinked.
Well, I think like with these kind of, even in like, and we can get into that in a second, but like I just think she's like a tourist attraction basically, and she's meant to bring in fans that aren't necessarily wrestling fans to begin with. That's her job. And I'm not saying that's bad, but I think maybe transitioning, she should have taken a little more time, maybe doing the training and kind of figuring the things out and developing more moves.
Take her time. I don't think they should have rushed it. They
No.
her or anything. Take the time. Yeah, you can give her the spots at WrestleMania, but like when you go to tourist attraction, what has made WrestleMania? It's a tourist attraction. There's how many countless celebrities have been in and out of pro wrestling since the dawn of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Mr. T. Like, it goes way back, So, and that transition to making Roddy Piper into making a movie star and him doing his thing, you know what I mean? So, like, there's always been that mix between acting and tourist attraction, fame.
And like I'm on the fence about it because there's obviously times when I appreciate those kind of things, those big like crazy
Crossover
fights,
moments.
but then there's times where like right now, who's the Logan Paul? Logan Paul and Mayweather?
Yeah, man.
Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah,
like, it's things like this that are just like...
It fucks up everything. And I am there with you, but at the same time...
You're gonna watch it.
You're gonna watch it because you want to see someone get their ass kicked. And then there's the chance that he's gonna fuck up Mayweather's whole legacy. Like, he completely fucked up Nate Robinson's whole legacy. You'll never remember Nate Robinson for dunking ever again.
What? Nah, I don't know, man.
Not this generation. We will.
Yeah.
But not this generation. Not this TikTok generation. Not this, social media craze, meme craze generation. They'll forever remember him sleeping, pillow talking on the canvas.
Fuck, man.
So, like, and it goes back again to what Mike Tyson said in his after-fight conference, where it's like, the beauty that came with these YouTubers now is they brought back that tourist attraction moment. But now you have a whole bunch of different eyes from the youth now that are looking at boxing. But now it's going to take a whole demographic out of that to educate themselves on the true game of boxing. Mm-hmm. And that's why we need Mayweather to knock this motherfucker out to educate a whole generation.
You think he's even going to? You think, like, I think he would just feel bad.
No, I think someone's going to hit the floor. And whoever hits the floor is either going to lay a lesson on what the game is really about, or it's going to change the boxing league into this whole tourist fame, 15 seconds of fame or 15 minutes of fame, celebrity worshipping entity for the next generation, which we don't want. So that's the thing. Like, it's on this, like,
if you can do
moment.
it, if you can like, if he was actually, and I've heard people saying that that fight was more entertaining than the Tyson Jones Jr. fight, but like.
Nah.
I don't know, man, because none of them knew, like, they didn't look like they knew what they were doing, clinching every 10 seconds.
Paul knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
Well, he's been trained.
And that's the difference.
If you know what you're doing, sure. I don't know if this guy really knows what he's doing. We'll see. We'll see that, like, he's never actually fought anyone legitimate. And didn't he lose his first fight?
But that's the thing. He hasn't fought anybody legitimate. So they've been constantly selling. And it's his mouth that's been selling him. There isn't anybody in boxing right now that can sell a fight. And that's the biggest thing. That's why boxing is losing. That's why pro wrestling has overcame every combat art. Because the selling factor. There's always a key factor or someone that can talk on the mic, can contribute an emotion with the camera to the people directly. And that's why WWE is sinking right now, because it's not genuine anymore. And that's why MMA is coming up, because you have fighters that can actually legit fuck motherfuckers up, but at the same time can sell a fight. Conor McGregor.
Right. Yeah. And I've always been like, I think that he is really great for this sport. For, like, mind you, he's made some personal decisions that are, questionable and are definitely dumb, but like, as far as, his entertainment value and what he brings to the table, I think that he's nothing but good for the sport. I even enjoyed, like, this kind of like a tourist attraction kind of fight, but the Mayweather-McGregor fight, like, that was good for both sports.
But there's a crossover and it enriched boxing again. It enriched MMA. It brought them to a whole nother level again. And, like, sometimes these things are a good thing, but again, if it goes the wrong way, it can fuck up a whole league. It can fuck up a whole, combat sport genre for the next 10, 15, maybe even 20 years. You know what I mean? So, like, there's a good and a bad, pros and cons to everything. And that's
for sure.
That's life in general, you know what I mean?
I attribute the rise of wrestling, especially for me personally. Like I was saying, I've been going to the Destiny shows since they began, and that was really my only, for quite a while, that was the only thing I really did. Even before that, there was probably a good amount of time where all I did every year was watch wrestling. Like, I stopped watching Raw, I stopped watching SmackDown, and for me, the fire and the love for wrestling came back the day AEW came into the
It came back for a lot of people. It came back for a lot of people because I feel like a good portion of the demographic was just tapping out now. They're tapping out. It's the same rinse, wash, repeat with the WWE.
For sure, man.
And it's soulless. There's no life anymore.
NXT, I think, is better than the two main brands,
but
right?
now NXT is on this weird limbo stage where it's like it's kind of doing the same shit on main roster. You're seeing the stuff that's on main roster on NXT.
Yeah.
You can see the same format, the same formula that they use to build their shows. You're seeing it play out on NXT.
Especially if you've watched for longer than 10 years.
For years.
Yeah.
If you've watched from Attitude Era, especially to now, I can understand why people tap out. But the thing that have kept me a fan is because, like you, I'm watching other alternatives. Mm-hmm. I wasn't always just watching WWE, and this goes back to my childhood. Like, goes back to when I was a kid. You'd watch Raw on Monday, and then on Tuesday it'd be WCW. And I'd run after school. I remember running back after school, 3:30. We'd do a little play wrestling after school, and we'd run home to the house and watch WCW replays because you missed it the night before.
Yeah, I remember going, WWF was the premier shit, but there were certain storylines going on in WCW where you'd be like, all right, it's a commercial, and you'd switch in between the channels when you could, because it was just...
You had TSN.
Killing it then.
Yeah, TNT, TSN. That TSN had, WWE, and then it had, the replay of Monday Night Nitro. And then by Friday, and Thursday you had Thunder, and then you had ECW.
So, yeah.
From a kid, I was always watching different alternatives, and then when the invasion stuff happened and WWE bought out WCW and ECW and all that stuff was happening, that reinvigorated us even more. That was a whole generation. We were all watching and seeing like what's gonna happen here.
Yeah.
Even though we all know at the end of the day Vince McMahon is gonna own all this shit, and the doomsday is happening, we enjoyed that ride.
Yeah.
And we embraced what was gonna happen, and then that was that like weird stage where it's like
I fell off a little bit after that.
Yeah,
I watched for maybe like a year or so after that, and it's kind of it. I don't know.
That's
maybe
like
a couple years after that. I don't know.
That's like 2001, 2002 era. I was like 11, 12. But then I'm on the internet and I'm finding about CZW. I'm finding about ROH.
Yeah.
I'm watching those like highlights on Fresh when YouTube was YouTube.
Yeah. So you like the hardcore shit?
I enjoy it, but I wouldn't do it.
You know, it brings there's a different thing to it. It's the hardcore wrestling isn't about technicality. It's not about a moveset.
Depends.
It doesn't even really matter. For me, the hardcore wrestling, I don't even care who I'm watching.
Yeah.
It's just about what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't like it as much, but I've pretty much seen every Tournament of Death.
That's the same thing. Like I would watch CZW, but again, it was that transitional era. So like during that time, I'm watching Lucha Libre stuff, which I was when I was younger, because if I'm at my nanny's or my nona's house, where she's watching her little Italian shows, and then the Espanol stuff will come on. We'd be watching some of that. My mom would be watching some of that as well. So like there is always stuff that come on TV, and my family is very open to just letting us explore entertainment, and that's where I guess that acting bug came in. That's where that just whole entertaining bug, no matter what realm it was, whether it's behind the scenes just creating, editing, or just like interviewing, or being in front of the camera and doing acting, and that transpired in my life. Like that's where it just came in, because I was always just soaking up different sources of media, whether it's documentaries, interviews, like MTV. When MTV would go deep in those little like documentary interviews,
some of them were
like,
good. Yo.
Yeah, Much Music. When Much Music had those different, you'd have your different shows on Much Music, and you'd have those in-depth interview pieces with like local talent and local bands throughout the city. Like I was watching that, soaking all that up from a kid. So like I like to this day I'm always a fly on the wall and very analytical. So I always take in everything, and then I can react, and that's how it is, and everything just transpired there. So that whole coming around story to this is like I've always sourced alternatives, so it's alternative news, alternative media, alternative music. Same thing with wrestling, and that's when I learned like there's different genres. There's Lucha Libre, there's WWE.
I was explaining Lucha Libre to my lady.
Like there's Lucha Libre, and like training now, I'm learning like more in depth. The Lucha Libre style is everything's on the right, while the WWE style, the North American style, everything's on the left. And when I mean everything's on the left, you work everything on the left towards your camera. You're always working towards your camera. The Lucha Libre side is more freestyle, you know what I mean? And you're in your moment. But they work more to their right side. So it's different techniques that I'm learning in different regions, different countries, that you can add to your arsenal of pro wrestling. And that goes back to the different eras. So like throughout that whole ruthless aggression, and you're finding about NWA, TNA, ROH, CZW. There you have different styles. You had NWA, TNA, where it's just like that embracement. The X Division was the roots of it, and you can just do your thing, and it was embracing all different combat styles of pro wrestling. And then you had your CZW, which was the death matches, the hardcore style. But they still had high flyers. They still had technical. Sure. So it was like they still embraced that. And then you had ROH, which was like your pure wrestling, pure technical style, with your hybrid, with your Japanese, with your shoot style. It was the beauty of all of that. And then that is what kept my love going through that era. That's what kept everything flowing and just kept me going. If I didn't find out about those promotions during that time, I don't think I'd be watching wrestling till this day. And then finding those alternatives, you're like, what's going on in my city? Like, what's going on in my town? Because ROH is always coming out here with ROH and New Japan, those joint shows that was happening, World of Wars. WWE is always coming here from the sands of time.
And there's like, you know,
Yeah,
a
like-
shitload of, just like you said earlier, local promotions.
Local promotion. So it's like indulging into that, learning about different styles, and that you realize, okay, just like how combat arts, mixed martial arts is different combats to that, which is judo, jiu-jitsu, you know, kickboxing, boxing, Greco-Roman wrestling. There's different elements. It's the same thing with pro wrestling. You have your lucha libre, your hardcore death match. You know, you have your shoot style, Japanese. You have your WWE North American 80s kind of style. You know what I mean? So like,
like within all these styles, what do you think makes a good wrestler? Like, say, like, you know, parts of, like, because for me, I've always said, and this I kind of touched on it earlier, is that, like, you know, it's half acting and half athletic. And I've always kind of, like, for the people that are like, wrestling's fake, like, my approach to that has always been, well, like, do you go to plays, and when you see someone on stage pantomiming that they're driving a car, like, you know, like, you're not driving a car, faggot. Like, what do you do? Like, are you that douchebag? Like, you can't take it for what it is.
Know? Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of digressed a little bit. What do you think makes a good wrestler? Because for me, it's 50-50. And, you know, you're a little more into the world, so maybe you'll have a little more, you know, brackets. But it's 50 acting and 50, you know, the athletic ability. What would you say makes a good wrestler?
I'd say, like, yeah, straight down the middle, 50-50, especially nowadays, because you have so much different ethnic backgrounds of pro wrestlers nowadays that are getting the spotlight. You have so much different unique personalities, sexes, you know what I mean, that are now stepping in the forefront and getting the spotlight of pro wrestling. It's not like before, whereas you're saying cookie cutter, you know, 6'5", 6'6", 7 foot dude, fucking huge, steroid out the fucking ass, pro wrestler that can only do a handful of 5 moves and can't convey a proper story. Versus where you had like your Bret Harts, and then that transitions into your Shawn Michaels, that evolution into your Daniel Bryans and your CM Punks. The list goes on and on and on. AJ Styles, like,
yeah, AJ Styles is like, a couple of those guys at the beginning are
Joe,
like,
bro, like
super technical.
Yeah, so it's like, but they all carry an essence of character. You can connect to them. They can convey a story.
Mm-hmm.
They can communicate. They can stand in front of the camera, and they're not gonna be dull. They have a personality. Even if it's just growing fruits in your garden.
Like, I've always loved the dudes that are like,
edge. Yeah.
the dudes that are like, really good at selling moves.
Yeah, and that's
you know
the
what
key
I mean?
thing.
Like, that is
to,
something
you know?
that, like, I'll be like, oh, that's a sick move, and I'll watch it. But something that really makes me, like, love a wrestler and then be on, like, my top tier of wrestlers is how they sell moves.
How they take the move. Like, one of my favorites, so it's like Jack Evans and like, you know, like Low Key's another one that I like, who like can sell and also is aggressive at the same time for his stature. Amazing Red was another one that I liked, that like I really enjoyed. Rey Mysterio, like
The Rock,
Eddie Guerrero,
yeah.
Like, the list goes on, man. Like, so yeah. Being a character, being able to tell a story, having that dynamic personality and that connection to the people and your audience and your fans, whether it's you're going over as a face or you're being hated as a heel, combining that with the technical pro wrestling and the fundamentals. And I mean fundamentals is not like you're just taking dives and you're just doing a bunch of high spots. You can actually tell a story from the lockup to getting to that high spot, to building an aggression into a match, to conveying that emotion where the fans are invested. They're not just in their phones nowadays or just filming just the film. They're actually reacting. They're actually reacting to the build, reacting to the heat, reacting to your shine. Those are the things that, like, I think are key and what's missing, especially nowadays, because everybody's just quick. Let's just get to the next spot, get to the next move. But they're not realizing, and what I've learned, especially in training at Battle Arts and with the Smash seminars that I used to go to, is to take the moment, take your time, breathe in your match. have that breather. When you execute a move, let it convey to your audience, let the audience feel it, and then go into your attack. And it's just the little things, and it's like the little things I'm starting to really know, especially training now, and consistently more than ever, especially during this whole pandemic era, which is a blessing in disguise. Yeah, it's like take the time, and it relays into real life. Take the time to just enjoy the stillness, and then react.
Yeah, I've always been more of a heel fan, like a bad guy for anybody who...
Yeah.
Hopefully we're not boring people who don't know wrestling, but...
We're complete nerding out on wrestling right now, bro.
I've always been a fan of the heels more than, you know, the good guys, because... And mind you, there's very few really great bad guys. And I just think that a lot of them, they don't fully commit. And it's like... I think whether, and when I go see the shows, like, I'll fucking stand up and boo, and I'm booing dudes that I fucking love, dude. I'm booing dudes because that's what I want. I want their reaction. I want the crowd to see their reaction. I like, you know, exactly, dude.
So
and I remember, like, MJF, before AEW started, he was at a Destiny show. And they had a bunch of, actually, AEW dudes there, but I was kind of unaware of who they were. There was SCU, MJF, I think Brandon Cutler. There were a couple people there. Anyways, he came out
right before the transition into AEW.
Yeah, before they had their first, like they did the All In, whatever, the one before they were branded AEW.
I think it was that SummerSlam.
And then the one after that, they were AEW. They were a brand. It was like right around that maybe before or shortly after, sometime around it though. And he came out, I didn't know who he was, and I was like, who the fuck's this guy with this fucking fake Burberry scarf and shit, and fucking... So I was like booing him and shit, and he fucking smacked my hand, and like, bro, I mean, I'm a pretty straight dude, but I fell in love right away with this guy. I was like, oh, this guy's the man. Like, he was like cussing at me, smacked my hand away, and I was like, boom, like, one of my top dudes right now.
Yeah, dude.
And I just love that. So, I want to ask you, because I do this, I'm going to be doing like a top five, or I'm asking like top 5, whatever. So, I guess we'll start off with some wrestling things and then kind of get into some other shit. So, I want to know top 5 wrestlers. And it can be of all time.
Fuck.
Men, women. Oh, think about it, man. There's a lot to choose from. I know, you know, different eras, different promotions.
Damn, bro, you can't do this to me. Okay.
So hold on, then. Hold on.
I can't even do. I can do a top 5 to top 10.
Man, if you can't do a top 5, you can do a top 10.
Okay.
You know, or honorable mentions or whatever.
I have an honorable mention list. And then my top 5. Top 5. I would say number 1, Rey Mysterio. That connection is unreal.
That's who your style actually really reminds me of, man.
Rey Mysterio is number 1. Eddie Guerrero.
Dope.
The Rock.
Yeah.
Fuck. Bret Hart. Oh, fuck.
It's like who you feel like you're disrespecting other people by not putting them on the list. I know, dude. I know. It's hard.
So, okay, the top 5 is going to be the Roots. So that's my root of pro wrestling. That's like bringing me in. Foundations. And the last one that I fit for that top 5 is like the foundation of my pro wrestling on my mountain would be, I'm tied between Chris Jericho or Shawn Michaels, to be honest.
Chris Jericho's the only one on your top 5 that's in my top 5. And like don't get me wrong, your fucking list is amazing. Like I love your list. There's just so many. It's interesting to see.
Hard.
You know?
It's so hard, but that's like the top, I'd say, right there.
Right on.
And then the honorable mentions: Booker T, Amazing Red, Owen Hart.
Yes. These are good.
The last two.
You can just leave it at that. You don't have to do 10 if it's too hard for you, bro. Now, do you find any of these guys like your influences?
Influences and like just foundation is what's kept me enjoying the game. The last two I'm gonna add.
Okay, do it, man. If you got them, if you decide.
Samoa Joe. Oh fuck, and I'm tied again with like low key and homicide.
Homicide. All right, dude.
Those right there.
Now, would you consider these guys to be influences, inspiration? Because for me, I know in comedy, it's all good, bro. Don't worry. There's a lot, man. I was trying to make the list, and it's pretty hard.
Yeah.
But I was saying, like, for me, like, when I watch comedy, like, I don't think my style is a representation of the comedy that I like.
Yeah.
Which is weird. I find with other comedians, it's like the people that they listen to, they try to, emulate, is that the right word? Or, replicate, kind of like follow in their footsteps, so to speak. Maybe not copy, but just kind of do that same style. And for me, it's not like that, because I'm very heavy on, like, politically, like, my top two dudes are Joe Rogan and Dave Chappelle. Very politically heavy comedians, and, like, I don't have that approach when I do comedy. Like, I'm pretty silly. I try not to be, too serious, because to me, I try to have, like, a cynical eye on certain things, but be silly at the same time, because I want people to come and kind of forget about the things that are outside of that, wherever we are, the box that we're in currently, just forget about that shit for however long that I'm on stage, and I appreciate what they bring to the table, but I don't think they, and maybe comedy in a whole, kind of listening to comedy and watching comedy inspires me, but they don't really influence me. Like, do you think that you're kind of, like, what's the game plan? Did you kind of, are you trying to, and obviously eventually everyone wants to get to the stage where they're doing their own thing. Yeah. But right now, would you say that those guys are heavy influences on you? Or
like, in the sense of what their art form and what they bring to the table, there is an influence in the sense of that. Not like I'd say their personalities or personas, because I like you like to bring your own persona to the stage, and I'm a fan of comedy. I love comedy, and I go on my own comedy, stand-up comedy binges. So like you, seeing you go through your journey, same thing with me. It's like you want to bring something new to the stage. You have a personality of your own, just like many others. And in pro wrestling, you tap into it and you turn it up. You turn it up to the max amount of volume, whichever direction you want to go. But you're bringing elements of your own personality, elements of how you view the world, how you're influencing the world, your upbringing, your background, just like your essence and your roots of just how you've grown up in your environment in this society. You can bring that to the stage, but you bring in a comedic level, you know what I mean, a very warm, welcoming level. For me, it's just in the same sense, but the persona that I'm trying to approach is more of a truth seeker. So I'm going to give you the essence of shit that's going on in society, but I'm going to give it to you in a way where it's going to be conveyed throughout my promos. So I'll be touching on stuff that may happen in society, or stuff that's happened in the pandemic, or my beliefs and stuff like that, and how I view the world and society. And I'm going to incorporate that in my wrestling and whoever I'm feuding with, and the storytelling of whatever story we're trying to build. So that's the direction I'm trying to go in. So it's completely different from the Rey Mysterios, the Rocks, the Eddie Guerreros that I've listed and went down the list on. But the strength of being confident on camera, conveying your message, and having a strong character that you remember, no matter your stature, that is what they all have in common, and that's what I'm trying to bring in. So that's basically the same common influence I'd say they bring in to me. That's basically it right there.
I gotcha.
You know?
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah. And then like the movesets, there's certain movesets I'm going to be bringing in in ring that obviously are influence of, let's say, Rey Mysterio or Eddie Guerrero or Amazing Red and a low key, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I will be bringing different elements in there, but the more I get comfortable and confident in the in-ring work, I'm going to be trying to be innovative and
create your own kind of ways of doing things and shit.
Own things of doing things, especially with my stature being shorter, but of a bulkier and muscular build. Most people are going to think I'm going to be a flippy dippy dude. I'm going to be off the top. I'm going to be doing fucking Hurricanranas and 450s. But that's not what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing it when it means something. I'm not, like I told you, I'm not going to just be going out for dives or anything that I don't think that's logical. It's building towards that. So when I do a 450 or a springboard 450,
it just means more.
It's impactful. It means more. And then when you see my ground game, you see my technical ability, then you're like, yo, what the fuck? Because that's when I'm bringing in the elements of my amateur wrestling background from when I was younger, and bringing that element, the little judo and jiu-jitsu dive rolled around my pops, and especially with Anthony, that he's opened up with battle arts and opened the floor for us to enjoy. Having the free reign to get into different disciplines, whether it's jiu-jitsu, the boxing, you know.
Do you review your shit? Like, I know you post videos. I don't know if you're just doing that.
No. Like, if I'm posting, it's because I've been watching it over and over again. I'm not the type just to post it just to post it. And with the core group of guys, Isaiah Bronson,
who does fucking... I just want to say, we were just talking about this. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no worries.
Dope promos.
Yeah, he's sick. He's amazing. He's another one that's a heavy influence on stepping up my game and elevating. So Isaiah Bronson, Abu, Nazir, there's a group of us, Corey, there's a group of us that, like, after training, we'll stay after and be working on stuff and
talking about shit,
picking each other's brains and stuff, doing study tape.
It's good to have that, kind of family.
Yeah, and then, like, guys like Matt Black and Runyon, who are, like, the roots of Battle Arts. Yeah, that have been at Battle Arts for a while. When I was going to Battle Arts, just checking it out, checking out the shows and trying out the little trials that they had in the weeks during the times prior to COVID and pandemic, when I was just getting my feet wet at Battle Arts and meeting, like, Yuki Ishikawa Toy,
the trainer,
who was one of the main trainers there. It was actually Anthony's father who basically would bring me in to see me to some of the shows. He'd be like, yo, just come. And I'd help out with some of the shows afterwards, help out cleaning when Impact were doing their Impact on Twitch stuff tapings. I was helping out.
Yeah, I was probably there.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we did run into a couple of shows. So, like, I'd help out behind the scenes there, whether it's just taking the championships and bringing it to the back, taking the gear to the back, cleaning up the chairs, you know what I mean? Like, the little things, I was always, like I said, always a fly on the wall, whether it's in at events or helping out with, like, youth programming or anything like that. I'm always there as, like, a supporter and helping out and just seeing things flourish from its essence.
You so just have a general love.
Yeah, so just seeing things seeing things to curate and seeing things just blossom and flourish from its essence. That's just what I always love, and I'm always just a core supporter, whether it's just, programming with the youth, music, acting, and pro wrestling. Always just willing to help with the community. So just one of those things, I didn't care to get paid or for a job or anything like that. I was always there just helping out. So that kind of, like, opened the doors to that loving support.
And that's why it's
of the game.
That's why it's so good that you're doing this, man. Because you, like, just your approach and your genuine fucking love for what you're doing. I think that I kind of touched on this a little bit in the last episode, but I think that's super important, man. Dope, like, do you have, like, what's your, like, 9 to 5? Are you working right now?
No, so, like, during pandemic right now, I'm not really working. Everything, I've been transitioning online. So I've been doing little spot gigs here and there. DJing has completely been a wrap. Like, I've had weddings, a bunch of gigs that were really lined up this year.
And then no one got married and shit.
And then everything went to shit. From gigs for different concerts, festivals, and wedding, hole in the wall, bars, and stuff like that. Like, different events I had going on in the city, all that went left. I was helping out with some programming with different organizations in the city, from Pure Swag as well, with the youth. That kind of got limited as well, so they transitioned stuff for online. So I do little seminars on that online, and I was doing intro to DJing in person, but that had to be held off. Other than that, I've been doing like gigs online, like virtually, whether it's the Twitch game, IG.
Yeah, I think I peeked in on a couple of your
so
sets, and you were wilding out too, bro.
Man.
I love that shit,
So,
man.
like,
Just
I've
in the
been-
zone.
Exactly. So like, there's been a niche community within the city. Music wise, I feel like the music scene in the city is going through a whole nother renaissance, and like the artists in the city were about to take that next level in their careers internationally if this pandemic didn't happen. Which would have been beautiful for the whole scene of Canada, music-wise. But due to the pandemic, I feel like a lot of people got like stutter steps and like in that trance of limbo. So they're still making those moves. There's still a whole bunch of different festivals that are happening, but everything's being transitioned to online.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's globally. It's in the States. It's here. The whole music and movies, all that, everything's online now and streaming. So that's one thing that I've learned. And then helping out building my own media company, which is Red Eye Entertainment, Red Eye Media.
Red Eye.
So that's basically the whole idea. The blessing throughout this whole pandemic is just bringing me back to just focusing on
What's
my
important?
goal.
What's
Exactly.
really important, dude?
So it's just like, now you have the time. You paid off your debts.
You fixed up everything because you've been
Fixed
stuck
up
at home.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Your house is looking mint.
So now
Start
it's
working
like,
on you.
so now start building into your brand and building the foundation for this. So like the game plan down the line, I want to have my own studio space where it's open to the community. People want to do stuff for the YouTube channel, they can do it. The space is there while I'm still doing my own stuff, doing my own independent media, sending out independent news, curating music, you know what I mean? That's like my mind state. And as well, helping out with the youth, helping out with youth programming, you know, and just building those building blocks. I was blessed with opportunities with a lot of the homies throughout the city that are doing a lot of great things, and I was given an opportunity to help out with them. So taking that full force and giving my all within that, and helping out the community to build and seeing everybody flourish, that's just the key thing for me. And now I've realized you can do that, and you can also now build your foundation, build what you really want to do, and build towards your dream. So that's the idea I'm going with right now. So it's just been a whole transitional
passion,
period,
bro. That's what I really admire about you.
So a whole transition period. Like I've always, prior to COVID, I've always had different jobs, and like get it from my pops. He always has a different job going on, another source of income, a source of money. So if I wasn't DJing, I'm doing youth programming. If I wasn't doing youth programming, I was in the hospitality. You know,
yeah, that's what we're
grinding.
Yeah,
we're grinding out there, and I'm doing serving. If I'm not serving, you know, I'm doing this with acting, and I'm doing stuff for a TV, film, and online stuff. So like, I always had my hands in different pockets of entertainment and community work, and that's something that I want to transition to. I want to open up my own space, have my own lounge. You know what I mean?
So, since before we get too far away from music, like, do you have certain songs you listen to that hype you up? I want to know top 5 hype songs, like things that get you fucking psyched, or like, what's your entrance music? Like, would that be one of your hype songs?
So like, my mindset on music is so far out there, like it's all over the place.
It's
so
good, man.
It can be hardcore, it can be alternative, and then I can go into South African piano. I can go into obviously the roots, dancehall, reggae, which is my background.
Whatever it is, man.
Hip hop obviously is there. This is what makes the world turn. Jazz, you know, soulful. I don't know if you're into, you know, about Selection. Selection Radio with Joe K, Sango. That's a whole different sound on SoundCloud. So like the whole SoundCloud sound there, which is experimental sounds, flips, edits. Like, so my mindset on music is all over the place. The whole UK scene. So whether it's garage, UK funky, Afro beats, along those lines, you know, drill. My mind is all over the place when it comes to music. But currently, right now, for theme music, I'm using. So I don't know if you remember Nicolas Cage when he did "You Can't Handle the Truth." Was it Nicolas Cage?
Oh no, Tom Cruise. It was Tom Cruise, right?
No,
he was a lawyer.
He was a lawyer, but he was talking. No, it wasn't Nicolas Cage.
It wasn't Nicolas Cage.
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson.
I'm pretty sure it was Jack Nicholson. He's like, you can't handle the truth. Tom Cruise was in that movie too, but there's like a
it was Jerry Maguire. That's what it was. That movie, right?
I believe so.
Fuck,
yeah,
I haven't seen it in forever, but I remember the quote. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, it's a cut edit from that movie,
mm-hmm.
and it's placed over Rhythm and Gash, which is a UK garage like anthem. Really dope anthem that I just blended in together, and I just go out to that. The other backup songs that I have is Stormzy.
Oh yeah.
And then another one I have is a local band, the OBGMs. It's Fight Song. So those are like 3 transitional like little theme songs that I'm thinking about transitioning with throughout this whole journey. Wherever I'm working and wherever it works, I'll have them and then pop them in and
Do you listen to anything before? Or like before the gym,
of course,
or like while you're working out, that
course.
like is like your favorite.
No, well, like again, I can groove out to anything, so it's not like I need this specific sound. As long as it has a dope beat, dope little melody, a dope riff, I'm gonna groove out to it. I love the sound of music, and I find different elements to it, whether it's the melody, a hook, a riff in it, a certain sequence in the beat.
Mm-hmm.
With background of beat making from when I was a kid, and I dabbled back into the past during this whole pandemic. I tried to dabble back in making beats again. It's just you always hear different unique sounds, so it's just I always find something in music that draws me back in. But usually in the gym, it's whatever everybody else is playing. And as a DJ, I like to hear what everybody else is playing, because then I go back into the lab and I'm like, okay, this can work with this.
That's why I like asking, you know, because like I'm just interested in, other artists' process and the things that get them like excited and stuff, because it's like, just I want to see. I
love house music.
Maybe it would hype me up. Maybe it would make me feel just as good as it makes them feel.
Yeah,
so.
bro. Like I love house music. I love that funk. I love that like that high pace, high beat essence. So like, that's been my vibe. Housey, UK funk. That's my shit right now.
All right, man. So, I feel like might want to get the snacks going. I don't know if you saw this.
Oh, the munchies.
My little bucket here.
The munchies.
And we can keep the top five going, but last time, man, these fucking snacks sucked. I was actually thinking the ones we got would be the best ones out of the bunch. You pick one, I'll pick one. We'll just fucking try it out. They're from Japan. They're all Japanese snacks.
Some new NJP dub.
And I never even mentioned them before because they're not sponsoring me. But Tokyo Treat.
Hey,
Tokyo Treat. Hit me up, man.
This is a go-to.
Let's make something happen.
A couple of homies.
Yeah, so you pick one, bro. I'll pick one, and we'll fucking we'll try it out.
Like
last time they sucked though, bro. So don't
I'm very picky. I'm a very picky. What is this? Soda chewing caddy. I don't know about that one.
Alright, I'm just gonna grab this. I'll just grab this. I don't know what it is.
Shout out all the Japanese homies.
So yeah, they give you like this list and basically explaining what everything is.
Okay, wicked.
The writing on here is like, I don't know if you can see from there. There's no English. So I'm pretty sure these are cookies, but I'll pick those.
You got like toffees in here. These are cool, yo.
What is this?
You guys can see.
Yeah, Pokemon Christmas Party Choco Corn. So they're like what? Like chocolate corn snacks? I don't know about that.
I'll go with this.
What you got, dude?
Go with this.
Alright, so that's fucking sour soda gum?
Sour soda
Oh, it's gum? Let's try that one after then, because that's... Alright. Alright, dude.
Go with this.
Alright, so as we're doing this, just think, because I'm curious, and I kind of made a list myself. Even though I'm not a wrestler, I kind of more have the body of a referee.
Wrestler in spirit. Anybody can be a wrestler nowadays.
I would you know what, man? Before I started doing this this Muay Thai stuff, I've never kind of envisioned ever being able to, man. But I'm like you said, it was a blessing in disguise, bro. I've been thriving, and I know some motherfuckers are gonna hate this, and some people are struggling, and some people are even dying, and it's super unfortunate. But personally, I've been able to focus really hard. I'm the healthiest I've ever been.
Yep.
I'm the fittest I've ever been, and like, I really would. I think I'd put wrestling at least one match in my life on my bucket list now. Like, I think it's possible. I think I could do it.
It's possible, and that's the thing. Like, during this time, you want to trade off here. During this time, I feel like it's super important. I'm gonna hold this. I'll try one of these.
Yo, dude, these aren't bad. They don't even really taste like corn.
Oh man, this is amazing.
I'm so happy something was good. It's like a little Pikachu head. I don't know. It's like it's like a chocolate corn pop almost. It's pretty fucking good though.
A Reese's and a Captain Crunch cookie.
It's fucking good, dude. I'm really happy with that.
That's what it reminds you of.
Really buttery. Really oily. Pretty fucking good though, man. So what's this again? We got fuck me. I got it. Alright. Sour soda gum? Yeah, alright.
Go 2 for 2.
So I'm gonna swallow it. Not really a lot of flavor. There's like more scent than there is flavor, I feel like.
It's like a lemon mint.
Mm-hmm. And it's not sour at all.
2 for 2.
It's fucking lies, but these...
Coming to Japan, and I know what I'm living off of. Yeah!
Yeah, not bad. Sour soda gum and Pokemon Christmas Party Choco Corn. Fuck, last time I had a real hard time saying mochi, bro. No one sent me messages like, mochi, man, you said it right. But... So anyway, dude.
That was good.
What are your dream matches? And like when I say dream matches, like just people that are alive. No retired wrestlers. No one that's dead. People that are currently wrestling, you know?
Well, you should have your dream match one day.
Mm-hmm.
Just get it. Just do it. You have to. Don't have that lingering thought in your mind. Just how you got up there and did that Muay Thai, you can do the pro wrestling.
Yeah, that's why I was asking you about Battle Arts, because I saw they do Muay Thai there. So I could kind of go, I can dabble in some wrestling while doing that, because, man, I would love to.
Dabble it. Like you were saying, is like you took the time and you realized that it became beneficial. So during this whole pandemic, I feel like everybody had a choice. You can either sulk in the moment and try to run away from whatever issues you can conquer, or run away from any problems, or you can face it head on, face your fears, and get shit done. And like you, and got shit done, paid off debt, took care of my health, got my health back in check, made sure, because I want to be the best, in the best health I've ever been in my life. That's my goal. Especially going to my 30s now. When September hit and I turned 30, it was like I want to be in the best shape I've ever been in my life. So going from that point on, again, it was just applying to enrich your life during this time. So yeah, like during that whole process of training, that's all I've been thinking about. Who would be my top 5? Who would be my top 5 given that time that I got to go back into training at Battle Arts and start working? And like a couple, number 1, I would love to work Rey Mysterio. Mm-hmm. Before he ever hangs it up, I'm kind of thankful that his son's wrestling now, because it could possibly work out that he's still around for another 10 years.
He's not, so I guess he is signed to WWE then, since his son is there.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, he's going to be there for a little bit. But, like, my goal is not to go straight to WWE or anything like that. So it's like the possibility that one day he does take independence or goes, you know, to one of the alternatives. And if the lines in the universe do cross paths, that'd be a dream match I'd love to do. Yeah, because it's so far in between. Another, I like to work low key. Just the discipline. I feel like just going on head to head, some hard combat in that. Just, you know, just learning some shit under there. That'd be another one. Matt Seidel. Mm-hmm.
Oh man, Matt Sydal, but what a fucking debut, bro.
Yeah.
For AEW. I felt so bad because I've seen him perform at Battle Arts like at least once, but I think 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And he was really good. And so when I was watching the pay-per-view with my buddy, and when he came out, me and him were just fucking crazy. Everyone was like making noise on the show, and hops up on the top, slips off. Did you watch it?
I watched it.
Horrible. I felt bad,
man, because that's all they're selling for him is the shooting star press, and he went for it. And it didn't
First
work out.
Move
Didn't work out.
I fell for him,
man. But the brilliance and the freedom that AEW has is that they can flip it. They had Michael Nakazawa, who is this whole comedy wrestler with the oil.
Yeah.
So they build on BTE of him oiling up the ropes. So they build that storyline, whereas Michael Nakazawa oiled up the ropes prior to him coming out, and he sneaked it in.
Yeah, they've been working it. They've been working it decent, but...
So it's dope how they saved it. It sucks how it happened.
Yeah.
And it sucks for a debut to go down like that. But again, anything can happen in wrestling. Like, you can try, as much as they try to predict your endings and all this stuff, and everything is pre-planned. Bruh. Shit happens. Anything can happen. And that's a perfect example of that. But the way you can save and capitalize off that can be gold. And that was a potential way to make gold for their sideshow, which is Dark. And they built from there. And now you got Matt Sydal. He's bouncing back and he's doing his thing now. So
and Dark, let's be real. Like, Dark isn't really a sideshow. It maybe started out like that, but now they're doing like 2-hour darks.
Bruh,
12 matches
show,
and shit.
Man.
Yeah,
and they have
it's so good.
Thousands upon thousands of views. So they're getting the eyes on them. There's a whole bunch of talent that is being given the opportunity to work with veterans. So those dream match possibilities are there. So Matt Sydal is one of them. If Amazing Red was to ever get out of retirement or like semi-retirement was to work again, I'd love to have a match with Amazing Red. Eddie Kingston, because like the storytelling.
I fucking love him, dude.
Eddie Kingston, the storytelling with that would be amazing. That's another dream.
He is probably like right now. As far I don't think there's a person like. Do you watch BTE?
Yeah.
Okay, so when they'll be like, "Yo, Eddie, cut a promo on this cookie," and he goes off
the fly,
and my dude will cut a promo on a cookie. My buddy showed me this shit, and I knew about BTE, but there's so many episodes that I hadn't gotten into it, and that was the complete. My buddy's always telling me, he's like, telling me about things that happened on the most recent episode and shit, and he showed me all these promos that he did of just like random shit, and so I started watching BTE because of that. But I'm still in the very early beginning stages. Episodes. Yeah,
man, I followed it from the beginning, so it's like crazy how to see the transition to now and how everything just has fallen into place. Like the list is so long about dream matches because the potential nowadays of having them is real. It's actually can happen because the pro wrestling industry is so unpredictable nowadays. Ricky Starks is another one. That's another dream match I'd love to work. Some dark stuff with Leo Rush, Darby Allin. That'd be cool.
Leo Rush was just slept on, and they fucked him over in WWE, man.
They fucked him up. Pac is another one. Taiji Ishimori in New Japan, who's Super J, running things in the Super J Cup. Like there's so much talent in the industry nowadays in this transitional period, especially where it's going into this whole territory phase now, that I'd love to work. So it's like an endless possibility, and like there's so much you can learn from in this industry. So
that's a dope list though, man.
Yeah, man. Like that's just mainstream basically. I'm not even getting into like locally in the GTA and our territories out here that I like to work. There's a whole bunch of talent in this region, in Toronto alone, in the GTA alone, of dream matches that I want to work as I grow as a pro wrestler in this whole game. So I'm looking forward to this whole journey, and this is something that I know I'm going to be sticking with.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited. I won't miss a match, bro. I'm sorry I missed the first one, you know?
In the long
well, I guess you said you had 3.
It was the second one. Don't worry, man. So, like, it was sick because, like, my birthday was the day before. And then they had the Backlot Brawl, which was the day after September 12th. So, my birthday was September 11th. Did my training and all that stuff. And I'm like, damn, am I really going to be doing this the next day? Like, it's crazy how the stars all align. And then we did Backlot Brawl. And then Anthony, he was just like, yo, just get your reps in. Anthony Santino Marella.
Yeah.
Just get your reps in today. And I, under my knowledge, I knew I was working just one match. We did a promo. Luckily, shout out Emilio. He was also doing his debut match. So he was building his character. I was, in the essence, I already had my idea of a character because going back, if you play video games and you play like the WWE series or 2K,
yeah,
WCW versus the World.
I stopped playing 2K though, but like,
yeah,
man,
so
that last 2K I played, I think was 16.
So like the Mikey Truth gimmick and character is rooted from a video game character. So it's from my 2K call, my creator wrestling promotion for anybody that's into it. We're getting super nerdy, but like, yeah, like that's rooted from there. So I've always been cutting promos and like doing little things because there's like that niche community where people would be editing like the gameplay of the matches. They'd make their own promotions. So like it's this little universe within pro wrestling fandom and in the video game, WWE 2K video game universe that like that's what the essence of the whole, okay, I can start cutting promos. So I was like, I can really do this. Now all I need to do is just get these fundamentals down, blending the combat experience I've had from my youth to now and bring the two worlds together. So it's like that is what's building. It's like a building block. Everything's just building on top of each other. And just the way the universe works, everything came together. And then just the guidance of like Anthony showing us like storytelling, character development, those building blocks from that, just the fundamentals of building matches. It's all coming together. So it's like you see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Fuck yeah, man.
The light at the end of the tunnel, the glory.
You into superheroes?
Oh yeah.
You mentioned Dragon Ball Z. I
yeah.
assume you like anime and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
oh yeah.
like all my foster brothers, like I grew up with like Jamaican foster family and shit like that. All of them love Dragon Ball Z. So like when you said that, I was like, oh, of course, of course. But yeah, top 5 superheroes. And you can go anime if you want, you know? I might not know who you're talking about, but...
There's one dude from Tekken. I can't remember his name right now for the life of me. But he's like the Brazilian, like, kickboxer.
He does the breakdance fighting?
He does the, what do you call it? Fucking Kumba or something like that?
I don't know.
It's like that Brazilian breakdancing.
Oh, man, Eddie? Is it Eddie?
Eddie.
It is Eddie.
Yeah. So, like, he's one.
All right.
Trunks is another.
Who's Trunks?
From Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, okay.
Trunks, Vegeta. It's a tie between them.
All right.
Static Shock.
Yeah, yo.
Static Shock is another. Dang. Spider-Man.
Don't want to. Spider-Man's got to be on everyone's list, right?
Spider-Man's one of those. Because you can see yourself. It's more believable. You can see it. Like, if I had a superpower, it'd be like, you know, an insect or some shit's gonna bite you, and then, you know.
That cartoon back in the day fucking helped a lot, too, man. There was...
oh, yeah.
That was good shit.
Oh, yeah.
So what's that, 4?
Yeah, Black Panther.
Yeah.
Black
Rest
Panther.
in peace.
Wakanda, Black Panther. Those are the top. What about you?
Oh, man. Okay. I think maybe I touched on it before, but I don't think I named them all. Okay, so first is Batman.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah.
Second is Red Hood.
Yeah.
Third is Arsenal. Arsenal is... Like, Red Hood and Arsenal are both... they're both old sidekicks.
Really rolling.
Right?
Yeah.
So Arsenal is like, I guess, Green Arrow's sidekick, and when he left, because he was, I guess, Red Hood or Speedy, whatever you want to call him, and then when he left from being the sidekick, he became Arsenal, kind of similar how when Jason Todd stopped becoming wasn't
The
Robin, he
transition,
became
the evolution,
Red Hood.
Yeah.
So that's my 3, and then Spider-Man, for sure. And then I wanted to put this in last time, but he's like, you can't. I wanted to put the Ninja Turtles at a whole spot, but I couldn't.
I was thinking about that.
So
but
if I can't put them in a whole spot, I would probably go with Constantine as in my 5th spot.
Okay, I might have to do a remix. Ninja Turtles, are we with the Ninja Turtles?
They should be like, if we're allowed, they would be for sure like in my top 3. But I'm trying not to put groups in. So Wolverine. But Ninja Turtles for sure. Wolverine. Yeah, like Wolverine was, especially back in the day of the.
I remember the end of the credits where they had the actual 3D 360 of the X-Men. Do you remember
so dope, that? That show was just
X-Men, dope. Wolverine's another one. Human Torch.
They gotta do a good Fantastic Four movie. Yeah. Now that they got all the rights to like some of those characters. Yeah. And it's crazy because like that kind of shows like where Marvel was at a certain point. Before all this live action film, the MCU took off, like Marvel was hurting, bro. And they sold all the rights to like their biggest names, and then all of a sudden they they're coming out and they're making some big money, and like they don't have their biggest players. And I think if they did, we would have had a good Fantastic Four, a good like Silver Surfer. If I'm giving an honorable mention, Silver Surfer's up there too.
Yeah, but the thing that it annoys me and kind of made me fall out of love with Spider-Man is the constant remakes. I hate the constant remakes. Like if you're gonna do a remake, touch on the next element.
Why are we just repeating the shit?
Don't repeat the same storyline.
Yeah.
Like,
just seen that shit.
Nah, we just seen that. There's so much to Spider-Man's story. There's so much to all these characters' stories. But we constantly rinse and repeat. It's like Vince McMahon syndrome out here.
For sure, man. All right, so last top 5 question, and this might be the hardest one. Christmas movies. And I want to kind of talk about Christmas before we get out of here, but Christmas movies, top 5.
Home Alone.
Home Alone, absolutely, dog.
1, 2,
absolutely. 1, 2, and 3. 3 is, here's the thing, 3 is good. It's not 1 or 2, but it's definitely like, I give it like maybe like a 7 out of 10. It's worth watching.
Still, man,
it's worth watching. So that's the first 3? Those 3.
Boom,
dope,
boom, boom,
dude.
boom.
Yeah, the first 2 are my first 2 too. So we have the same top 2.
And then the last 2, oh, fuck. It racks my brain because, like, Christmas is not even, like, a really big...
It's not a thing for you, eh? It's not
really
big for you.
Big season for me. Like, I lived in an apartment, so, like, where was Santa Claus coming?
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. I was raised in a foster home, so like it's like Santa really didn't really come.
Santa, like, it wasn't really a thing.
That's missed out on Christmas for a few years. You know what I mean?
So majority of kids, we already went through the trials and tribulations and realizing that Santa Claus wasn't real.
When did you find out Santa Claus wasn't? How old?
Young.
Yeah, young. Eh?
I was young.
You were keeping it secret from other young kids, and they're like, "Oh, this guy still believes in fucking Santa."
Like I loved chocolate chip cookies and milk because my mom would try to leave it there, and I'd be the one that eat it.
Yeah. Did she tell you Santa ate them in the morning? You're like, okay, Mom, all right,
me. Cool. But yeah, the last 2 is pretty hard. I don't know. I don't think I have a last 2. What about you? Last 2 Christmas movies.
Oh fuck. Okay. Home Alone 1 and 2 for sure. Fuck, it's a hard question. Maybe I should have thought of this.
Like I know
Elf.
Elf is
on there.
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't know.
Like Halloween movies.
The Santa Claus. The first one with fucking Tim Allen.
See, I forgot about that.
And then I don't know. I really kind of recently like. I like those kind of corny, feel-good Christmas movies, And I'm not the kind of guy... Motherfuckers are probably going to tell me what they think about this, but I'm not the kind of guy who believes Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Nah.
Like, a Christmas movie has to have a certain feeling. Like, it has to make you feel fucking warm. Like, borderline, eyes sweating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it needs to make you feel a certain way. And Die Hard's too action-y for that shit.
Throwback, dude. When he got his tongue stuck to the pole. What's that movie? Throwback. He had the little glasses. He had a little brother.
Are you talking Dumb and Dumber?
Nah.
No. Oh, he was a little kid.
He's a little kid.
Oh, man.
He had the glasses.
Miracle on... no. Is it?
I think.
Miracle on 32nd Street or 34th Street. I wasn't big on that movie, but I remember. I just remember the kid's face with the glasses. That's what's sticking out in my mind. Yeah, Miracle on 30-something Street. So that's your 5.
Yo, yeah.
All right.
I can't even remember the name. Watch, when I get home, they're all going to be like flashing. Oh, man.
No, that's fair, dude. That's a decent list. I think that's what it's called. Miracle on 34th
Pretty sure.
Street. Final answer. Is there? Did you ever get like what's your favorite Christmas memory, or even a gift? Because for me, it's like I didn't have a lot of memories. So the thing that sticks out the most is like I got this Ninja Turtle fucking helicopter, dude. It was fucking dope, and like I didn't have too many good memories, so I think about the time I got a Game Gear and shit like that. So like those are like my peak memories. What about you for Christmas?
I have 2. One of them is gonna be funny because like it's such a swerve. The first one is like the regular, like my dad got me like the remote control, and it's like one of those big things. He made like different ramps and stuff, different obstacles in the house. So it's one of those like joyous moments with you and your pops. We built the remote control cart together. We built it. And then we made like a different like obstacle courses, so like that's like a little wholesome moment. And then I was like a kid, I was like 5, like 5, 6. But it's like one of those things that are from like your really young age that you remember and you hold dear.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the other one was so like when it was either PS2 or PS3 when PS3 was coming out. When PS3 was coming out, everybody was getting the PS3, and I was like, yeah, I gotta get the PS3. So I asked for it. Obviously, you're begging for them all, months ahead. You're begging for the console. Then I'm asking. Like, yeah, you're gonna get it. But lo and behold, you're not gonna get it. You're not gonna get it. Lo and behold, the back of your mind, you're not gonna get it. You hope for it, but you're just like, yeah, you're not gonna get it. Homies came over. All the gifts are under. Homies come over, and like we're trying to sneak to see what presents. So we scratch one of them. We see the color of the box. One of my homies, a couple homies, they're trying to gas me up. Yo, you got it, man. You got it. You got the PS3. So I'm like, yes, sick. I'm getting the PS3. I'm be running all these video games with them. Yes. This is when like online is all coming out now. They're rolling out online for like all those war games and shit now. So yeah, I'm gonna be joining them. Yes, I'm gonna be getting the PS3. Christmas morning come down. I'm early, ready, willing, and able to open up every present, even if it's not mine. Open it up, it's a damn chess set.
Fucking Christ. Don't get me wrong, like I like chess, Don. But
I like chess, but when your mind is set and willing, you're getting a console and you're thinking, yo, everybody's gassing you up, you're getting it. What game are you getting? That's the conversation piece for the whole week going into it. Man, and then you open it up, you see the chess set, and you're just like, thanks.
Yeah. Your heart's breaking as you're saying thank you.
But at the same time, years later, I cherish it now because as an escape, learning how to shoot the chess set. Yeah.
Is that when you learn to play chess? Because you got that set?
Eventually, you end up learning. So eventually, I end up learning, and it's like, okay, yeah, I appreciate this. But you don't appreciate it when you get older. So cherish all your gifts.
For sure, man. For sure. A lot of those things that, were just kind of things that just seem like they were passing by, or some of the moments I hold dear, man. Yeah. And I love chess, man. I love chess. I actually, like, me and one of my buddies, like, often will just get stoned, play chess, and have, like, wrestling on in the background.
And you just get lost. So, like, that's
it's
one
fun,
of the
man.
things that, like...
It's fun.
Man, it's a lesson. And you don't realize it until you get older and you're out of the whole Christmas spirit completely. And all it is like, now you're giving all the giving now. It's like, you appreciate these things because it's like, okay, these are little like getaway pieces that you can hold and sustain for the rest and your life pass it down. Because it's like nice chess sets, glass, all glass. It's like really sick.
And you still got it.
Still got it.
That's fucking
still
dope,
got
man.
it.
How long ago was that? PlayStation 3 that first came out? We're on 5 now.
It's time.
10 years ago?
Maybe
Over?
even more. Almost 20 years.
Yeah, I guess so.
20 years, because it's been like 7, almost 8 years since PS4.
I'm off.
At least 15 to 20 years ago. That's wild.
Shit, man. Getting old, bro.
That's wild.
I always feel old when I see, you know, pictures of friends' kids or celebrities' kids that were like fucking...
And you see them now? It's like with Michael Jackson's kids. That's the one. Now, you see them now compared to how back in the day. This is a trip. You're like, where'd time go? But hey, you live in the moment, you enjoy it. Make the most of it.
Shit, man. I guess we'll wrap her up. Fucking let these people know where to reach you. I also want to know future plans. What's in it for your future? Are you gonna pursue the DJ thing still?
Of course.
You're gonna do both? The wrestling and the DJ?
Man, like I said, I want to have my hands in a little bit of everything. The game plan down the line, I do want to have my own space. It's open to the community. I have community garden, like, you know, the youth, young adults. We can all create content and give it to the world. So having a space where it's open and I can create and build this media brand, that's like the long-term goal.
What's the name? Red Eye Entertainment?
Red Eye Media.
Red Eye Media?
Yeah.
All right.
So building that, and within that, having that studio space, I also want to open up my own lounge, which is basically, you know, you can smoke up in there, blaze down.
Yeah, maybe do some stand-up comedy and shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, bro.
And you have your restaurant there, so it's like a lounge and restaurant kind of split.
Dude, I actually, like, that's like maybe like a 10-year plan thing for me too, is somewhere where I could, because I love cooking, I love performing.
So just
somewhere I can incorporate both of those things would be
so
amazing.
it's the same thing. I love performance arts. I love seeing stage performance as well. Whether it's music, stand-up, theater. Those are things that I love. I love food, living living within a multicultural fammy. We have different.
What is your background? You're Italian?
We got a little Italian. We got a little UK, brother. A little Irish, but the primary sauce is Jamaican.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like having an eclectic background of different people married within the family that come from different backgrounds. We've always have different sources of food from all parts of the world. And especially for my mom, my dad, they'll cook different dishes from all over the world. So it's like I'm not always just eating one dish from one culture.
Or even like combining things. Like that's like something that I really love. Like seasoning a certain way, but like cooking it a different way, or you know, whatever the case. Just, you know, fusion kind of shit.
Everything. So, and just fusing both cultures and ethnic foods. That's like the beauty of it. Beauty of food, man. That's the language of the universe. Food and music. And
working in the food industry almost ruined my passion.
And entertaining, but that's the same thing. Once you do something that's not allowing you to truly showcase your love and your passion, like there's no like if you're in a situation where you're in the kitchen, there's no limitation to what you can cook. You're always being challenged. You're always learning something new. I'm pretty sure that wouldn't have been gone. Or like the grinding hours of it. If you had the freedom to check out and plug out for a little bit.
The hours wouldn't even be that bad if you had, you know, it's just, you feel like you're kind of part of a robot.
And when you're doing something that you want to do instead of working for somebody else, you know what I mean? Those are the little things that kills our passion. When you're restricted from being creative, when you're restricted from your own personal time, those are the things that kills our passion in certain things. So like, those are kind of assets I want to do. I want to have spaces where people can indulge in their art form and showcase it and build a community and continue to build a community and help the community flourish. So that's an avenue with a lounge, restaurant vibe. That's an avenue there. Having the studio space, that's an avenue to open up to creators. Community garden, that's an opening up for the green thumb within us. And for society and all, shout out all the farmers, bro. Without the fun, there's so much shit happening in the world right now, especially with farmers and just the shit that's happening with this whole pandemic that's causing small businesses. So it's like, you're peeping game. So it's like, how do I maneuver in this whole new world, especially to have these new dreams and aspirations to flourish? So those are things I'm keeping an eye on. and building that, and then just transitioning things online, and then as well capitalizing the DJing thing. I want to travel and DJ out and curate music all around the world, showcasing the music here in Toronto and the GTA and the Canadian music scene, and also blending and fusing it with the worldwide sound.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that goal of mine. I want to showcase that worldwide. And then pro wrestling, I'm not really too all eggs in a basket for pro wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy the exercise. That's one of the main reasons why I'm consistently going back into training and taking it full throttle, because the exercise is just putting me back into the best shape I possibly can, physically, mentally, just putting my health back in check. Pro wrestling was a big help for that. But just being happy with just working dates throughout the city, working throughout Canada, doing that, working different independent shows throughout the GTA. I'm happy doing that. If the WWE, Impact, or the AEW comes around, like for instance, my debut match, Scott D'Amore was there.
Yeah.
So it's like the chances of him being there and the eyes that can possibly be in a room when you're wrestling is endless. It can
never know who's watching.
You never know who's watching. You never know who's watching. And the relationship that Battle Arts has with Impact and WWE and AEW down the line, like as a whole, like there's endless possibilities. So I want to enjoy the moment. I'm not out here that I'm going to the WWE and I'm gonna be main eventer. No, my mind's not there.
One step at a time, though.
One step at a time. If that happens down the line, even though I would not want to go directly there, I would want to explore the scene. I would want to explore the game. I want to learn different elements and different styles of wrestling. Whether I have to go to Japan and do something in Japan, and it's not just NJPW and it's Dragon Gate, for example, or DDT, I'll do it. If it's going to Europe and doing stuff for like, WXW and Rev Pro and stuff like that, NXT UK, I'll take the option. But I wouldn't want to sign on to anything long term. I'd want to explore, and that's the key thing. I'd like to explore the territories. And again, with the relationship with Battle Arts has with like Impact, I definitely would want, like if I was to sign, I definitely would go to like an Impact Wrestling, because from there, you can get different elements of the whole world in that one niche pocket, and you can bring it back home to Toronto, since they have that home base here into Toronto as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like exploring the whole game, whether it's Impact, AEW, yeah, that's all down the line. But I'm happy working the independent scene, being a notable name throughout Toronto and the GTA, and help building the Canadian pro wrestling scene. I'm willing and will be doing that. And that's a goal of mine. That's one of the main goals I do have, is just to build my name and notoriety within Canada. And then if anything happens internationally, it happens internationally. And I'll jump at the chance for that, of course.
Right on, man. Well, fucking never lose your passion. Keep
Never
posting
will.
shit, because I love seeing your progress,
I
man.
definitely will.
Super inspirational. I just, like I said, fucking people chasing their dreams. Fucking
Definitely will, man.
it's the best
now,
thing, man. And I love how you have just like a heart for the community. Never lose that either, man. Don't let people fucking, drain the love from your heart, because it happens a lot.
You can't. You need love. That's what's going to make this world turn. That's what's going to make us see the next generation of society, to flourish, is we embellish the love. Whatever energy you put out in the world, you're going to get it back. And on top of that, I'm definitely keep you posted, especially with this whole merging with Battle Arts and HWE, Hamilton Wrestling Entertainment. They're going to be doing the crossover, so they're going to be talent from Battle Arts and HWE crossing over, maybe some talent with Destiny Pro as well. So like, I'm very, very excited for what 2021 is going to have for offer, or whether within the pandemic or after it. I feel like the pro wrestling scene is just going to flourish so much more, because there's a sense of collaboration happening. And what Battle Arts and HWE is doing, they're building the Battle Zone shows. So we're going to definitely be having some content. I will definitely be getting back in that ring, and hopefully be working some shows in front of some big crowds. I'm looking forward to it, because the love for pro wrestling here in Canada is amazing. And the support that you get from the fans out here, and just the supporters out here, is tenfold.
People love wrestling.
People love it. So like,
And I think the world is yours, man. I think you have a great mindset, and you have a lot of passion, and I think you could accomplish your goals, man. I think you could fucking with that shit, man. You could really achieve anything,
I appreciate it.
So guys, I guess that'll be it for episode 2. Yes. Pillow Talk. Thanks for tuning in. Like always, the next episode will be released in 2 weeks, every second Tuesday. So I hope you guys tune in again, all right?
And you can catch me, I am Mikey, on Twitter. I am Mikey on Instagram. I am Mikey Truth if you want to get more into the pro wrestling side of thing. I am Mikey Truth on Twitter. 2 I's, 2 A's. I'm all there. SoundCloud. I am Mikey, Red Eye Council. All there. SoundCloud, Mixcloud. We're all there. YouTube, Red Eye TV. Shout out Ways Fam, The High Contemplation, Battle Arts, all the homies there, all my day ones. I love. And thank you. I appreciate you, man. And
thank you for being here, brother.
Congrats. Pillow Talk. Congrats, man.
All right, guys. Brap, brap. Peace the fuck out.